Hello. Hello. Apologies for being about 30 seconds behind. But I was having a conversation with my husband that I actually am inspired to pick your brains on, my friends. I want to pick your brains on it. But first, welcome to whatever I'm calling this live stream nowadays. Wellness Wednesday, free coaching hour. Welcome to your next 60 minutes listening to me chit chat about the topics that you would like to hear me chit chat about, my friends. And this is also going to be our last Wednesday of the year. When I realized that today, I was like, are you freaking serious? Last Wednesday of the year? I couldn't even believe it. I tell you what. And that is because next week we're actually going to be traveling on Wednesday. So next week's live stream is going to be on Tuesday at the same time. And I will try and remember to make that announcement again at the end of the live stream. But I wanted to make sure that my friends who showed up right away knew that that was the plan. So this is the last Wednesday of the year, because then the following week I'm not having a live stream. So crazy. Sorry. We're talking about something at like 6:56, and then I get in here to like plug things in and realize that the tripod that I use is still downstairs. So I was like, oh no. Oh my goodness, I couldn't even believe it. So anyway, we're here. All is well. Happy holiday season. Happy Hanukkah to those of you that are in the middle of Hanukkah right now. Merry Christmas season to everybody who is getting ready for Christmas season. Here we go. Hello, Alyssa and Kathy and Lauren. Hello. Good to see you. And Donna, Barbara. Hello, Michelle. Good evening. Trevor, hello. What do you hope to get for Christmas? Man, I tell you what, I have a whole video on that actually, with things that I came up with. I'm honestly having a year where I don't need much. I'm not wanting for much. I'm very, very content. Like, I can't think of a single, like, this is the thing. No, that's not true. I know what the thing is that I want, and it's a skylight calendar. It's this digital, it looks like a digital picture frame, but it actually holds your calendar, kind of like Google Cal, but if you just like hung Google Cal on the wall, and you can create like shopping lists and chore lists for each individual in your family. It's a very cool thing. And that's like the one thing that I'm like, you know what would be awesome if we had this, so we could stop having to keep remembering to update the giant desk calendar that we have hanging on our wall at the bottom of our staircase. So that's really the thing. Can you put that in the calendar for a reminder? Yes, I already did. For those of you that follow my Google Calendar, I already moved next we's from Wednesday to Tuesday. So if you're subscribed to that calendar, you should be able to just see it. It should be there. So I've had people ask me for more ideas and gifts, and I felt like my wish list was already pretty extensive. A new watch and an aerobic step. Oh, how fun. Love that. This would be a great conversation topic. The Christmas wish list. What is the thing that you want for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday you are celebrating? So let's talk about highs and lows. Highs and lows. I'm so discombobulated because I had to focus really fast. I apologize, y'all. It's just been one of those days. I have been on calls and on socials and on doing all these things and leading meetings. It's been a busy day up in here, and I filmed a video too. It has been a busy day, but let's share our highs and lows. For those of you that are new, this is the opportunity to share with the community your highlight from the last week, your low, if you so desire to share it. There's no obligation. No celebration is too big. No struggle is too small to be something that you can share with the community. We also like to share our wellness wins, specific wins that pertain to our wellness journey specifically, whatever it is that means to you. And then you're working on it, which is the thing that you are working on, typically as it pertains to your wellness journey, but it doesn't have to be. So with that being said, and then if you want to throw on a bonus of like, what is the one thing you really want for Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever holiday you're celebrating, You can throw that in there too, because why the heck not? So my high was yesterday. Yesterday we had a small group, and because our travel plans were changed, we were here for a small group, which was lovely. And we had our Christmas celebration. And our small group leader actually was like, "I'm going to make a big pot of taco soup. Why don't you all come over early and have dinner?" And so went over there for dinner, and I made cranberry bliss bars again. Sorry, y'all. And the meal was delicious. We have a new couple that's new to the area that have known our small group leaders for years. And so we welcomed them into our group as well. And he is from Poland. She is from, oh my gosh, I can't remember where. Colombia, maybe. Um, and they made guacamole, which was so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then the two youngest ladies in our group said they were going to take care of entertainment. And they have you ever heard of this game called Kahoot, where you can like play it online and you log in on your phone and someone created a Kahoot and it's like a quiz game? Well, they put together a 44 question Kahoot about the small group members. And so we got a text like the day before that was like, "Hey, without your spouse knowing, please send me a random fact about your spouse." And so all of us submitted a random fact about our spouse, and then they went hunting. These two girls worked all day, I swear, all day on this PowerPoint Kahoot game thing. And there was also a PowerPoint that all of us won a superlative award. I won the most famous member of small group award because of my YouTube channel, social media presence, and the fact that I get up on stage and sing at church. It was so funny. We all laughed so hard. And then the stuff in this quiz game, oh my gosh, it was so like they did their homework. They looked at my husband's LinkedIn to get his exact job title. And so one of the questions was, "What is Brianna's husband's job?" And it had 4 options. And as soon as that question was read to me, I went to a friend's reference and wanted to yell transponster. They had transponster as one of the options. I Oh my gosh. So we had a great time. We had so much fun. And then we played a game called Are You Surprised? And it's kind of like Never Have I Ever, but you go around and in all honesty, you have 10 fingers and every person does a are you surprised to know that and does a fact that you're trying to shock people. And people have to be honest about were they surprised to learn that about you or not? And if they were, they put a finger down. Oh my gosh. It was just the most fun night. It was the most fun night. It was lovely. And then we have plans to be able to get together one more time before my husband and I start traveling, where another couple is like, "Can you guys come to our house? Because I want to cook you dinner." And I was like, this is just the greatest thing ever. We're cooking for each other. And it's just, it was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. So that was my high. It was a very big high. I came home from small group last night so fulfilled in every way. It was lovely. My low, y'all, I never have lows anymore, and I can't think of any. Gracie had a coughing fit yesterday, which had me calling the vet. That was really not fun. Thankfully, she's okay now, but like it was 10 straight minutes of this dog coughing. And she wouldn't go like drink water. She wouldn't do it. I'm like, "Gracie, drink water." And I'm like dripping water at her. She wouldn't drink water. And I gave her honey. I had to distract her with a different treat. Oh my gosh. It was so yeah, that was definitely my low. My wellness win is I lifted weights yesterday. Like legitimately did a workout, lifted weights. Not like, "Oh, let me do like one back set and one bicep set before calling it quits." No. I did the first workout of Beachbody, now known as Body's Sure Thing, and I loved it. And then I got up this morning, had my cup of coffee, did my God time and my journaling and all of that. And then I went, "I'm not hungry enough for breakfast. I have about 2 hours until my healthy meeting. I can go sneak in my workout." And I went downstairs and I worked out again. Again, I was showered and done by the time I had to leave my healthy meeting today, which is great because I had coaching calls today. I had all sorts of things to do today. And I feel great. I feel great. And I'm like, why don't I do this anymore? Don't know. So that's my wellness win. And my working on it is going to be to continue to show up for myself in the gym. That's my working on it. Whew. That was long winded, y'all. That was long-winded. My high was that I broke into the almond kringle. Oh, was it just as I recall it being? Because it's so good. That's a good high. My low is my clothes keep coming out of the washing machine with greasy looking stains that weren't there when I put them in, which is very frustrating. I have figured out the solution. Ever since I've started doing this, I have not had that problem because I also will, and I won't realize it until I put it on half the time. I'll put it on and there'll be like an oil stain on my shirt. And I'll be like, excuse me, I was trying to wear that shirt today. Thank you very much. I've started putting Dawn dish soap in with my laundry detergent. No joke. I put in the laundry detergent and before I start this thing, I take the blue Dawn and I go squirt, squirt, squirt. I haven't had a problem since. Because it's grease fighting. So whatever is causing the grease stain gets washed away by the dish soap. I have not had a problem since. I will continue to do it because I'm tired of having that problem. I finally joined the Diva in the Divine community. Yeah, she did. Mac is the Mac. We call her Mac. It says Jennifer McIntyre. Has joined the Diva District, and I'm so excited. If you want to join the Diva District, the link is down below. Pushed myself past my desire to quit and gave 38 minutes on the elliptical, which is a huge success. Barely 1 year post back surgery. So good. So good. Then when I got outside on a walk today, jealous. They didn't put any timers on or pay attention to anything like that. Just went out and started walking. So good. So good. Low in a mental health funky space, which isn't really a low because I've been doing some great work and processing it all. So that's a high, like or a win at the very least. That's a win. Because even though you're in the funky space, you are doing a great job of processing things and working through things, which is absolutely incredible. Hi, was my trip to Disney last week with my best friends. You looked like you were having so much fun. I follow Lauren on Instagram and I stalked her stories the whole time. And it was just so fabulous. I even shared with my husband your picture of the Disney castle because it looked like it was like wrapped in Christmassy goodness and it was incredible looking. So jealous of that trip. That looked like such fun. My heart is full. I had a second job interview Monday that went great. Yes, tonight is my birthday eve. Happy birthday, Lauren. Let's all wish Lauren a happy birthday tomorrow. Yay. I'm grateful for no lows this week. I love everything about what you just said, Lauren. I love everything about what you just said. Working on just continuing to look at what my health and wellness goals are looking like in 2024. And I'm working on a major use things up grocery goal. That's always a good goal. That's always a good goal. Donna's high. She had a wonderful coaching session with me. Thank you, Donna. I love that I am your high for the week. And it was a really, really great coaching session. Wellness wins. I went for a ride on my spin bike in quite a while. I plan on taking another class tomorrow. Awesome. Love that. Love that. I've been struggling with a few things related to my MS, cognitive issues, and the usual digestive problems, and some days I let it get to me. It's a process. It's definitely a process to accept that your body is changing, especially not in a way that you desire it to be changing, and not in a way that you are in control of, you know? I'll have to try that, though we use the Sam's Club version of Dawn. I decided to order some washing machine cleaner as well. Yes, that's a good place to start. I run dishwasher. I run cleaner through my laundry machine every month. And when it kept happening, I was like, okay, well, that's not it. So what else? But the Blue Dawn, man, gets it every time. Cold water washes and my parents using pods, which have ruined my clothes. Mm-hmm. Oh, due to using powder in cold water washes. And yeah. Oh my goodness. So good. So good. So many good things to share. I love your celebrations and all of that. So if you have some that I have not gotten to yet, feel free to continue to share. Again, if you want to share what you are hoping Santa Claus brings you for Christmas or Hanukkah and everything, let me know. Let us know. I told you what mine was. And here we are. Okay. So here's my question to y'all. And this is what my husband and I were discussing. And it's something that we are in adamant disagreement on. Let's say, hypothetically, you have a cruise planned, right? Wherever, some adventurous place that you wouldn't commonly go to, right? Do you plan an excursion for every single day you are on that cruise? If you do not find you find the excursions to be fun and exhilarating, but not necessarily restful in any way, shape, or form? Or do you take at least one day off and enjoy yourself on the ship or go to shore on your own terms and not book a several $100 excursion for one of the days? When you go and travel on a big trip, do you have to do all of the things every single day? Or do you plan some rest in there as well? I would be very curious to know your honest opinions. I don't care if you're in agreement with me or not, because either way, you're going to be agreeing with one of us because we adamantly disagree on this topic. I believe, like my husband, bless him. So our 10th wedding anniversary is on January 4th. So for our big 10-year anniversary, we planned a big Hawaiian cruise. It's really expensive. It's really elaborate, and we're going in May. And so we have some excursions that he wanted to do picked out already. And there's like three excursions maybe left in our 7-day cruise to be picked. There are 3 days that we don't have anything planned for. And he's harping on me to do research and pick what excursions I want to do. And I'm starting to get annoyed with him continually harping with me on it, because I'm like, I don't, as an Enneagram 9, I'm terrible at making decisions, especially ones that involve another human being. Especially ones like, well, because I'm always in the back of my mind considering what my husband would prefer. It's just how I'm wired. It's just how I'm wired. And so I'm told him, I was like, well, we need to do this. Like, let's just get it over with. And he goes, I want you to look through things and have opinions before I jump in with mine, because I know you will give in to my opinions, which is fair. And I love him for that argument. But the argument we were having just before I started my live stream was literally, I'm like, but I don't even want to do excursions every single day on the trip. And he's like, well, if you don't want to do excursions, then we should go on a cruise to the Caribbean. That would be a whole lot cheaper and we can hang out on the ship. And I'm like, I didn't say I don't want to go on no excursions, but what about one day, one day where we don't have anything planned, right? Where we don't have to be up early and at the excursion meet a point at a specific time and expect to be walking around for 6 hours and doing these very cool, very adventurous and fun and educational things. Yes, I'm not discounting any of that, but like, is it too much to ask for one day where I can get up when I want to and sit on my balcony and have a cup of coffee? And I don't know. I don't know, because he makes it sound like it's an unreasonable expectation for me to have that. But I also know that he's an Engebretsen, and Engebretsens don't freaking know how to sit still. I know this because I've met my father-in-law and I've met my sister-in-law, and they're all like that. The ones who are Engebretsens by blood, not the ones by marriage. My mother-in-law and I love when I go on vacations with my in-laws. Why? Because my father-in-law and my sister-in-law and my husband can go off and do whatever it is they need to do. And my mother-in-law and I can go to the spa, sit at the pool, treat ourselves to some leisurely shopping, all of that nature, all of that stuff. So I love it. I also love traveling with just my husband and going on these things, but we've literally had to make um, we have decided that we have to define the term vacation and the term trip differently. And the two cannot coexist. We have to set the intention of this getaway is a vacation, which implies restful and more leisurely, versus this is a trip, which means adventure. And in my husband's brain and in the Ingebretsen brain, it means adventure, 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 adventure. Like, don't sit still. And I'm sitting here going, but what if I need a day? What if we had just one day to relax a little bit? Typically, we went on our other big cruise. We've gone on a handful of cruises. Cruises is our preferred way to vacation. And do you know why? Because I'm an Enneagram 9 and I hate traveling. But I like once we get to the destination, but the act of traveling, hate it. I feel like because I'm such a homebody, I love cruises because it's like you come home every night. Every night after your excursion, you get back on the ship and it's your home. It's your house. You eat in your dining room, you sleep in your bed, you see the same people. So I think that's why I like cruising so much, is because it feels like I get to go home every night, which minimizes the feeling of the traveling. All of that to say, um, shoot, what was I actually going to say? Oh, when we got married, our honeymoon was a 2-week cruise to the Mediterranean. Incredible trip. Incredible trip. Most exhausting vacation of my life because we did all of the crazy, awesome things. We were in Ephesus, like literally the book of the Bible, Ephesians, written for Ephesus. We were in those ruins. It was incredible. Hi, Rosie. And oh my gosh, it was amazing. These excursions, we had to be up at 5:30 in the morning on my honeymoon. And then because you're on a cruise, you go out, you get up early, you do the things. You go on the crazy 8-hour excursion, you come home exhausted, but then what do? You shower, you get dressed up, you go to dinner and a show and the party stuff that you do at night. All the nighttime gigs and everything. Oh, it was exhausting. So finally, as crazy as this sounds, when we got to Rome, I told my husband, I've already been to Rome. I went to Europe with my aunt when I turned 18. And I'm like, I've already been to Rome. We made friends that were going on the same excursion as he was. I was like, can I stay behind? And so I returned my ticket to the excursion. He went off adventuring on his own with the friends we made on the cruise. And I went to the spa instead and had a leisurely day of sitting at the pool, getting a massage, and just relaxing. Because if I didn't do it, I felt like I was going to collapse. And it's just the energy, the go, 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 go that the blood relatives of the Engebretsens have is mind-boggling to me. And that's why I'm like, what if I just one day, I'm not saying we don't do the trip. I'm not saying we don't do any excursions. I'm saying maybe give me one day where I can just not do anything. And I've made it feel like I was asking for so much. Now I have to, here we go. Depends on the excursions. Oh, some detergents don't dissolve. Some excursions have rest built in. Yes, that's true. That's true. And maybe my workaround is look for one of the ones that is mostly on a bus or something. But then on the flip side, I'm like, do I really want to pay $279 to sit on a bus all day? I don't know. So we'll figure it out. We will. I was a cruiseaholic when I lived on the coast in Texas. Been on 11 cruises. Yes. Love that. I've never really been on any vacations with extra paid things. It's always been, here are the options of things we can do. And if we don't do them, there's no money lost. Fair. I've been on 2 cruises many years ago. Fun. Glad I went back then because I can't afford it now. Excursions are getting off the boat. There's plenty to do on the boat, but why not get off the boat and see and do the things? Yes, exactly. Michelle, hi. Got to attend a Zoom meeting with one of our former, I don't want to say it wrong, Shalias ambassadors from Israel, who is working with displaced people living in hotels. I love that you got the opportunity to do that. That's amazing. Take the day off. You will enjoy your trip. I do understand wanting to do all the things. Like I can sit around and do nothing at home if I'm going to, yep, that is exactly how my husband feels. One of the excursions I went on was swimming with dolphins. I did that too. I did that with my grandmother. The first 2 cruises I've ever been on, my grandparents paid for and took their whole family. So it took their 2 sons and their family. So there were 6 grandkids. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And then grandma paid for all of us to swim with the dolphins. He wanted to scuba dive. As an asthmatic, not my thing, but there was a beach and a tiki bar and cute cabana boys with fruity drinks. So I sat at the beach and he did scuba. Yes, for sure. For sure. And yeah, I'm kind of trying to find, because I'm either going to pick something that feels, I have to look at all my options. I've got quite a few options to look at, but there's one that's like that I might push on, and it's like the taste of, I don't remember if it's Hawaii or of one of the specific islands, but it's like that. Literally, the picture is of 3 bowls of sushi grade fish for poke bowls, and I'm sitting there going, "Just give me the bowl of fish. I will eat that with a fork." Oh, so good. And so the foodstuffs that's there, they're known for like their cacao and their macadamia nuts, and of course their coffee and Kona, and their poke bowls. Poke bowls originated in Hawaii. Like there's a lot. So I'm thinking maybe a food one where at least we get to like eat our way through the day might be fun, and not quite as, thankfully, when you book excursions on cruises, they have activity levels, right? So I know anything with a 3 out of the question for me. And then if it's a 2, I have to look at what the like fine print is, like 134 stairs. So if I think I can do 134 stairs, it'd be fine or whatever. It's a little bit harder. Sorry, I have Michelle's comment up and I'm not talking about anything relevant to Michelle's comment. It's a little bit harder for me because I can never gauge in the day how much energy I have. Now, my goal, I'm calling it superficially and vainly hot for Hawaii, but it basically means freaking get your physical fitness in gear because you have to be physically able and mobile and have stamina in Hawaii. That's basically what it means, but I couldn't come up with any alliteration other than hot for Hawaii. So, the fitness, that's why for me the fitness has been, I've been needing to get on the fitness because of this trip. She's setting up school situations for the children, especially special needs. We also sent needed things to her husband's military unit. It was wonderful to hear from her. Oh my gosh, I love that. Very good concept on the crew being like home. I thought so. And it took me years to realize that that's why I liked it. But once I realized it, I was like, oh, of course. I feel like a riverboat cruise, like one of the long, like over a period of days or like a nighttime cruise. I've been on the cruises, it's like a dinner cruise along the river. I have not been on one of the smaller overnight river cruises. I have not done that. I realized you don't sound like you were bragging. No. I've been on 7 or 8 of them, I think. My husband's got like big status on the one cruise line because that was their preferred vacation. That's what they did, even as kids. So we be cruising people. We did a Christmas cruise. I have that vlogged actually. One year we were supposed to be in Florida for Christmas. My father-in-law calls a couple weeks before and he goes, so how would you guys feel about spending Christmas on a cruise ship? And we were like, are you serious? Are you serious? And dude paid for all of us to go on a cruise for Christmas. It was something none of us had ever done before. And it was a spectacular experience. If you're curious, I do have some vlogs of the Christmas on a cruise. It was really, really cool. I signed up for emails and fill the boat deals are like, if you really want to find something inexpensive, you can. You definitely can. When we were in Texas, because she wanted to go grocery shopping for the trip. And I was like, I want to cook nothing. My family wants to go to Europe and I just want a beach. And that's the difference between the vacation and a trip, right? You got to decide year to year, what's a vacation, what's a trip. I love cruises, such a great place to see multiple places and unpack once. 100%. Yes. Literally you just have to show up. I know. I love them. I love cruises and I will always love cruises. A good vacation is having flexible plans where I can do what I feel like in the moment without any pressure. That's the one day I'm asking for. I'm not saying we can't do anything, but we also miss the opportunity to do a lot of things that are on the ship if we keep getting off the ship. And I'm like, what one day of me having a good cup of coffee on a balcony, looking at Hawaii, but like, do I have to be there at 7:30 in the morning? I'd prefer not. Really, truly. With the occasional event that has to be at a specific time. Was that the one where you sang My Heart Will Go On the ship? It sure is. I believe so. Yes. Is that the only cruise I went on with my in-laws? I think so. So yes. There's also video footage of that. If y'all want to hear me bust out my best Celine Dion, my father-in-law begged me to participate. We went to karaoke one night. Turns out it was a karaoke competition and he begged me to participate. Turns out I placed. So I had to keep, like, I did the initial thing and then they wanted me in the actual competition, which was like The Voice. They made it like The Voice. They had actual judges and actual teams and we had a photo shoot. It was a whole thing. And so I sang with the live karaoke band, which is actually very cool. Instead of being like a karaoke track, a live band played for you. It was very cool. And I'm glad I did it. But I was like, you guys get one of those. And you spent it. Cruises are, if you know where to look. Admittedly, the cruise we're going on, yes, stupid expensive. Which is why my husband's like, if you don't want to get off the ship, we can just go to the Caribbean. And I'm like, no, I still want to go to Hawaii. I don't think I ate a single vegetable on that trip, but we tried to make the best of the blessed situation. Love it. Like, if we have to spend hundreds of dollars each way for a flight and then the cost of the cruise, it adds up. Yeah. So, one of the benefits for me post marriage is my in laws are only an hour and a half away from the big Fort Lauderdale cruise ship dock. So, a couple of the cruises we've taken, we've already been in Florida. We were planning on visiting. We left Gracie with my in laws, and my husband and I took a trip one year before Christmas, just the two of us. We took a cruise because we were right there. Why not? I wonder if there are any level 3 activities that Eric would love to do. Yes, and that was the other option. We talked about throwing around like, okay, if you want to have one day where you go something extreme and I stay behind, I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that because I am on the other of the understanding that I can't do everything. Shocker. I know. I can't do everything that he can do. And I understand that. And he knows that. He knows that. But emotionally, he still wants me to experience everything with him, which is very, very sweet. But it's also like the difference between we actually had this discussion not too long ago about how like I'm truly like get ready to gag, but like Eric and I are truly we're married to our best friends. Like I adore him. He is my best friend. He's my everything. But the problem with that is he also expects me to fill a void that having a male best friend would fill. To do sporting things with him, to do gaming things with him, to do adventure things with him. And that is a void that I try and fill sometimes, but I can't exclusively fill like having a male friend would. And for me, it's like I don't ask him to do the girlfriend things. I go and find girls to go do the girlfriend things with, right? And he hasn't quite gotten the opportunity to find his male counterpart yet. And so he's like, I know it's unfair, but those expectations end up falling on you unfairly because I don't have the other outlet, which is a valid point and really good for all you married people out there. Like you and your spouse should have friends that you hang out with separately, right? Like, not that you don't know them and love them and whatever, but like hang out separately. I love when the men from Bible study get together and just go do their own thing for an afternoon. It's great. The girls are really good at getting together. We go out to dinner, we go out to brunch, we go out to coffee, we sit and we chit chat. No boys allowed. Um, but yeah, so it's a hard thing for him because he doesn't have somebody to do it with, which is why I love when we travel with my in-laws. Because if Kristen is there, Kristen and him can go adventure all day long. And it's fine. And he doesn't feel like he's like I'm missing anything. Because I'm not. If I can't do it, I accept it and I move on, you know? Do, 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 do. Never been on a proper vacation. You took that one trip, that solo trip to Virginia, was it? We took a trip to Texas for our friend's 6 months old funeral. So blessed situation. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that was the conversation that I wanted to get your opinions on the am I being unreasonable or is he being unreasonable or are neither of us being unreasonable? And it's just we have to adjust our expectations. That's why I was 30 seconds late. That was a really long-winded way to say it, but that's why I was 30 seconds late. So, my friends, does anybody have a topic that they would like to chit chat about this evening? Does anybody have a question? And here's the thing that I'm going to throw out to y'all. I heard this being reiterated in a podcast. You know how I've been talking about human design lately and how I'm a generator. Generators are designed to respond to things. That is our strategy is to respond to things, which is why I freaking keep prompting y'all for questions. And the podcast I was listening to, she was talking about how she's a generator, and so she loves getting doing Q&As for her podcast. And I was like, of course, because questions are literally things to respond to. They're literally like, you ask me something, I respond to that something. And I'm like, that's why I love when people have questions for me and why I keep going, hey, Q&A, hey, question box, hey, all the things, because I'm a generator and I like to respond to things. And if I'm coming up with the things, I'm not responding to anything. It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. So help a girl out and give me something to respond to. Give me something to respond to. Still felt more trippy than vacation, but I guess that counts. Just feels funny that the highlight of my vacation was not attending the live stream and going to my childhood church. I mean, I think that's and it depends. So for us, I didn't previously in a previous life, in a Voss life, in my previous life, I never had to differentiate between we're going on a trip or we're going on a vacation. Never had to when I traveled with my family. I just thought they were one and the same. So maybe for you right now in your current season of life, trips and vacations are synonymous. And that's okay. Just because of our personality and energetic differences, my husband and I have to differentiate between a trip and a vacation. Otherwise, one of our expectations are going to get smashed into the ground, and that's not good for anybody. Stop, drop, and chug, y'all. There's a long-standing. First of all, do you like my water bottle? This is my favorite Christmas movie, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, with the burl-eyed snowman. Apparently, his name is Sam, in case you were wondering. And Kim, hello! Good to see you. Shoot, what was I going to say? Oh, long-standing game of my live stream for those of you that are new. Every time I take a drink of a beverage, preferably water, on a live stream, you have to stop and take a drink of a beverage. In case you're losing track, that was two back to back. Thank you, Donna, for your question. Any last words? Last words? You sound like you're dying. Any last words? Any last words of advice as I enter a week of no tracking? Yes, other than everything we discussed on the coaching call today. But give yourself the grace to mess up and don't give up when you do, because you will. You will feel like you messed up. You might not have by the book messed up, but you will feel like you messed up. You will feel like you have done something wrong. Do not let that get to you. This is a journey of perseverance. This is a journey of trial and error, of learning, of keeping going. Kim, do you have any advice to give? So for context, Donna is embarking on, starting tomorrow, a week of no tracking. This is a big deal for her. This is a huge win. Big show of growth here. She's dabbling. So, and she's rightfully so, a little bit uneasy about it. So do you have, my friends who have already let go of tracking, Kim is a recent intuitive eating person. I don't know, you can perceive messing up as anything, really. You can be like, oh, did I eat too much? Oh, you could overthink your fullness cues, where you sit on the hunger and fullness scale. Your brain will find some way to tell you you screwed it up in some way, simply because it is outside of your comfort zone. Our subconscious does not like being out of our comfort zone. Our brain will do anything possible to help us go back to a state of homeostasis, which means normal and where we've been living. If you've been living and tracking, you better believe that the first week that you are not tracking, your brain is going to go, something is wrong. This is not normal and this is not okay. It's okay. I am telling you, if you need to picture me, I know some of you in the past have pictured me right behind you, jabbering at you, because you can hear things in my voice. If you need to picture me standing right behind you, telling you it's okay, you didn't do anything wrong, keep going, then picture me doing that. I think it's hilarious when you guys have to do that, because it means I'm getting to you. It means my voice is sticking and impacting you in some way, and I love that. It's not going to be easy. You are going to second guess everything. Let it happen. I love to play worst case scenario game. What is the worst case scenario? What is the worst case scenario? What do you consider to be a loss? The scale goes up? Has the scale been going up or down anyway? Yeah. Have you had weeks recently when you've been tracking and the scale went up? Yeah. Okay. So if the worst has literally already happened, what do you got to worry about? What do you got to worry about? I saw something actually, and you might have seen it too, in the intuitive eating Facebook group that you and I are both in, Katie Harvey's intuitive eating Facebook group. What did I do with the live stream? There it is. And it was really profound, because somebody else was having, it was an anonymous post, was having my scale went up, or my body got big, and I think it was the scale. It was the scale. And she talked to her therapist or nutritionist or something about it. And so anybody who's struggling with the scale right now, I want y'all to take a second, okay? Bear with me. If you are somebody currently struggling with the scale in any way, shape, or form, I want you to say the number on the scale right now, out loud, if you are alone. What is the number on the scale that you've seen recently? Shout out that number. Okay, great. Now that you've done that and made yourself uncomfortable or are now trying to negatively talk about yourself or any of those things, I want to ask you, and this you can feel free to answer. What does that number mean? What does that number mean? I'm going to give you, I want you all to answer. Tell me what that number means. Like literally, what does that number mean? I weigh X number of pounds. What does that mean? Give me your answer. I'm stalling because I know you guys are on about a 10-second delay. So, um, while I wait for your answers to what does that mean, Kim's advice is be kind to yourself. Really listen to hunger. I love the chart that tells you the different stages of hunger. Don't overthink it. It is the hunger chart is what I was talking about with you earlier today. The hunger scale, 1 to 10, where 5 is neutral. And we want to eat somewhere around 3 and 4, and we want to stop around 5 or 6. That's what we were discussing earlier today. That's what she means by the hunger chart. It's okay to do things to help make the process easier, like how I stopped tracking but switched to eating off the smaller plates because it helped me feel like I was in control. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think Brianna means, at least to me, you will feel like you're doing it wrong because it's new. You're likely not if you're listening to your hunger cues. You're not. And that's exactly it. And this is what we discussed earlier today. If you are listening to your hunger and listening to your fullness, you're good. You're fine. If you find that that tomorrow is a day that you end up feeling like you're not eating all that much, but you're honest to goodness, you sit there and you go, but I'm not hungry. That's okay. You're doing it right. And then if you have a couple of days where that's a you're not eating all that much, and then all of a sudden you're like, I feel like I am eating every hour and my tummy is rumbling, so I'm actually physically hungry. What is going on? It's your body normalizing. It's your body normalizing. Remember, there was a recent day where I was PMSing or somewhere close to it. I ate 7 times that day. I counted because I felt like after 4 it started to get ridiculous. So I counted 7 times I had to eat, and every single time I ate because my stomach was growling. It wasn't because I was PMSing emotional eating. I exclaimed to my husband, I'm like, why can't I not get full today? Why can like every time I would eat to satisfaction, hunger would go away. An hour later, I'd be growling again. And I'm like, what gives? I ate dinner twice that night. I had a small bowl of soup to start, went and did something else, and about 2 hours later, I was like, "I'm gonna have dinner again." And I had another bowl of soup because I just couldn't get the hunger to go away. And you know what? The scale did nothing. It was what my body needed. My body was telling me, "Hey, you're hungry. Please eat." And then there are days where I don't eat until 11 o'clock in the morning. Some days I eat 2. Lately, my trajectory has been 2 meals and a snack, and then a dessert at night. I've been skipping lunch for the last 3 days. Today is the first day I finally ate lunch, um, because I'm not hungry. And my hard and fast rule is when you can, and notice how, like, that's not even a rule if you start with when you can, but most of the time, my goal is to be hungry when I sit down to a meal. That is my goal, my only goal. With the exception sometimes being my nighttime dessert. Sometimes. But if I'm full, I have started skipping dessert because I'm like, look, it's not going to taste as good and my body doesn't need it. But if I'm on the point of like, well, I'm not full, but I'm not quite hungry, if you're in like that kind of like limbo stage, then I'll have the dessert because there's clearly space for a little something and I don't feel overstuffed when I consume it. Call it right, call it wrong, it's whatever you want. It works for me. Um and that helps. That helps. Is there a printout? No, but it's I'm sure there is a printout. You can Google hunger scale, but literally just write down 1 through 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then grade yourself. Um, one reading is just what your body weighs that day. That's why I weigh several times a week. It's an overall trend that tells you about fat gain or loss. Yes, yes. I've switched to using guidelines instead of rules. Love that. Once a week weighing is plenty for me. Not a one of you. Not sure if weekly weighing is encouraged, but it works for me. And if it works for you, that's great. I have gotten to the point where I hop on the scale when the spirit moves me to do so. And I was just reminded of what I was going to tell you guys about tonight because I said the spirit. Okay. Um, but yes, so some people weigh every day, some people weigh weekly, some weigh monthly, some not at all. I have now started weighing when the spirit moves me. I haven't stepped on the scale in about 4 days because I started to realize that I was starting to bloat up because of ovulation coming and everything. And I just didn't want to step on the scale. And so I didn't. And I still haven't. I'm just like, I'm not sad that I'm not stepping on the scale right now. And it's fine. So you got to do what works for you. You got to do what works for you. Not a single one of you. Okay, Michelle kind of did. Answered my question about what does that number on the scale mean? And I think that kind of proves my point. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. By definition, it means this is how much gravity pulls on you, and it's like your force against the earth. Like, that's literally what it means. But, like, what does that number mean? Whether that number is 135, 150, 200, or 300, it means nothing. And so, making sure you remember that. It's not that it's not a valuable metric if you are comfortable tracking specific metrics. It's a valuable metric like a waist circumference is a valuable metric. It can easily tell you what the effects of what you're doing are. It is information. It is data. It does not tell you your worth. It does not tell you your value. It doesn't tell you if you are pretty, if you are worthy, if you are allowed to eat that day, how much you have to work out, if your friends should like you, if you're cooler than somebody else. It doesn't tell you any of that. And I think we forget that. I think we forget that. The number used to mean how good I am, and that's not at all what it means. That's not at all what it means. It does not tell you if you are good. It does not tell you if you are good. My bet is there are some pretty skinny, not great people. There are also pretty fat, not great people. The scale doesn't tell you how good or bad you are. There's a lot of other things that'll tell you that, but the scale's not one of them. But saying it out loud, I answered it to myself, but saying it out loud made me react negatively to it, and I need to process it. I love when I make you guys process things. I think it's so valuable to process things. So here's the thing that I processed today, the thing that nobody asked for. So I said that the thing I wanted to talk about was the spirit moving me. So I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm going to put my Christian hat on for a minute. In the Bible, it is said that we are given the fruits of the Spirit when we are filled with the Holy Spirit. We are filled with the Holy Spirit when we accept Jesus into our hearts. And I'm not going to be able to list all of them, and it's going to kill me. I'm trying so hard to memorize them. Goodness, kindness, patience, gentleness, peace, love, self-control. Did I get them all? Are there 7? I got them out of order, but I think I got them all. Ooh, good. The fruits of the Spirit, which are freely given to us through the Spirit. Did you hear what the last one was? Did you hear? This is literally what I journaled on this morning. I've been big on telling y'all and telling myself lately that, remember, we are 100% in control of our actions, right? We are 100% in control of your actions. Well, for whatever reason, I started thinking about the Holy Spirit. And the Spirit moved me. I'm convinced that's why I was thinking about it. I was just brain dumping journaling, and I got like a page and a half on this very topic. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. That was from memory. Yeah, you're a show off. It's fine. Just kidding. But yes, those are the fruits of the Spirit. And self-control is in there. And so this morning, I say I realized, I've always known this, but it came to the forefront of my mind today that because I have the Holy Spirit in me, I have all of those fruits of the Spirit in me at all times. At all times. And that last one, is self-control. That last one is self-control. And so what does that mean? Because I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, it means that I have self-control. It is one of the fruits of the Spirit. I can utilize that fruit of the Spirit whenever I want because I have the Spirit of the fruit of the Spirit. And I was just like, why have I not thought of this before? And then here's the thing. If you're struggling with any of the fruits of the Spirit, you can ask God for help. Again, not like profound in that I've never thought of it before, but it just came spewing out to me today. And I was like, man. And it was a great reminder that for me and in my beliefs, I'm not alone in this. I'm not alone. I have somebody with me, walking with me the entire time. And here's the thing, take a look at that list that posted: love, joy, peace, patience. How many times do we need to remember that we have patience in us? And this is my friends who are not Christians. You have all of this in you too. You do. How many times do we need a little bit more patience, a little bit more kindness, a little bit more self control? You know? And it was just one of those things that really got me thinking this morning and got me really grateful this morning because I have everything I need. In the fruits of the Spirit, I have everything I need to go out and to be able to live the way I need to live. I have it. I have everything I need. And sometimes I need to ask for a little bit more help with self control, but that's okay. And sometimes I need to ask for a little bit of help with other things, a little bit of help with other things. And that's okay too. That's all right too. But it was just a really good reminder. I was thinking about, as I was mulling through, the different patience and goodness and navigating conflict in general, as conflict and drama has been floating around in different spaces and everything. I'm sitting there and thinking, like, when's the last time that I was really up in arms about something, offended by something? And I couldn't really think of a time, like in recent memory, when have I been offended lately? And I was like, I don't think I have been, because I realized, do you guys remember when I heard the phrase, being offended is a choice? And what the day I heard that, like a mindset shift happened for me that day. I was like, wait, 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 wait. So if I get offended by something, that's not on the person who did the offending. It's on me. It's on me. I'm choosing to be offended by that. I could choose to just let it go. I am now the queen of just letting it go. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect, but I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten a lot better at this. And as I'm re-looking at the fruits, I was like, oh, okay. So as I'm harnessing these things, as I'm focusing on these things, it's a lot harder to focus on the other things. I'm very, very proud of how I've been able to shift into a more positive mindset lately. It's been really, really good. And even in the struggles that I have been having, especially around things like self-control, I've still started to approach things with grace, approach things with less negativity about it, and actually just be like, okay, so this is what's happening. Why? How can I help? Let's move on. And it's been the most interesting process um, for me. And it all stemmed from this whole thought process. This whole thought process stemmed from me brain dumping in the morning. If y'all want a really interesting way to start your day, journal. No prompt. You don't need a prompt. Just start writing things out and see what comes out. It's really interesting what'll come out. All of these things that I just spent the last 7 minutes talking to you about all stemmed from my journaling experience this morning. And it was super helpful for me. And I hope that some of it in some way was helpful for you too. Um, Gave my toddler Fruits of the Spirit book. Plus, I memorized it when I was like 7. I don't know why I can't memorize them. I just haven't made the time to love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. I remember that self-control is the last one every time. My mom was heavily in diet culture, and I'm watching her make comments about what she needs to do and see how it keeps backfiring. It's the worst. It is the worst. Does your mom make comments about you? Not really frustrating as much as it's sad, and yeah, she's made comments about me in the past. Typically, though, if I start getting into a good groove of things, it's the silent treatment. Nah. I enjoy a good journaling and brain dump session. I know. Some days you feel like, what did I just spend my last 15, 20 minutes doing? And other days you just have aha moments that feel so good. That feel so good. I highly recommend it to anybody who's looking for a little something to add to their day. It is so, so helpful. It's so helpful. It's also helpful if you're like, I'm not a morning journaling person. If you have, especially if you're somebody who struggles with um, the negative things that are happening around you, job stress, family drama, whatever, thoughts, your own thoughts, because hello. Um, it's also helpful to like brain dump the stuff that's on your mind at the end of the day, because then it's out of your brain and it's on paper, and you are more likely to be able to just kind of let it lay there because it's somewhere else, you know? Um, highly valuable. Such good stuff. Oh, my friends. Ugh. Sorry, I need some water. I had this weird thing happen to me today. I literally Googled it, although I didn't deep dive into like the actual what's actually happening. But I noticed, I observed when I started eating my dinner this morning, literally like 2 bites in, my nose plugged up. I was like, I have been able to breathe out my nose all day today. Why is it 2 bites into my meal? Which I'm not, as far as I know, I'm not allergic to any foods. I'm not allergic to any foods. I had a very delicious pork bowl with rice and ground pork and onions and cabbage and broccoli and homemade spicy mayo because I couldn't help myself, and homemade teriyaki sauce. Nothing I haven't eaten a bajillion times before. And I literally Googled, why did my nose get stuffy when I started to eat? And have you ever experienced that? It was that, and so my point is I kept stopping for water because like now, because it hasn't completely like unirritated itself. And so because my nasal passages are clogged, my throat feels like it's working harder, all because I ate. If I could get a big question mark above my head right now, you'd have one, because I've never I can't say I've never had that happen before, but I know I have, and I've never taken the time to acknowledge it. It is insane. It is absolutely insane when you learn to tune into your body. My tuning into my body, fine tuning this radar, happened when I started to get into cycle syncing. And that might be something that I also want to refocus on in the new year. I love cycle syncing. I think it's brilliant. But I learned as I was going through that journey the first time, I learned to really tune into my body and how it's feeling at any given moment and what things are feeling like and all of these things. So the more in tune I am with my body, the more I realized, like I sat down and I immediately was like, something is weird, something is different. I don't know what it means. What does, and then you want to research, what does it mean? I don't know. Um, I just thought it was really interesting. Sadly, my brain has been so frazzled I barely get anything on paper because I'm so unfocused, and I tend to spiral when journaling at times. Fair enough. I still have to pick out a water bottle color. Water bottle color for what? Don't you have a bunch of water bottles? You can start doing the other color. Have you ever because I know you have like that one brand of water bottle you like. You can like take the lid from one and put it on the other. Like you can make all sorts of different color combinations with your water bottles. Oh, my friends. My friends, my friends. This has been a lovely conversation. Every time I look in the viewfinder, I notice my Christmas tree, and I'm like, oh, would it be crazy of me to leave that there all year round? Because I just think it's so pretty. I can't hear what does it mean without thinking of my former nanny toddler. I think of there's a song. Maybe it was used as a TikTok sound. It was like, what does it mean? What does it mean? Yes, that's what I think of, is that old TikTok song, because everybody used it. It was a trending TikTok. Anyway, my friends, I'm going to let you all go. Thank you so much for being here. It was a joy to spend the last hour with you discussing and celebrating and all of those things. As a reminder, because I didn't forget, Next week's live stream is going to be on Tuesday, the 19th. Same time, 7 p.m., just on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. And then the following Wednesday, the 27th, there will be no, I almost said healthy meeting because that's what I'm looking at on my calendar. There will be no live stream. There is a possibility there's also going to be no healthy meeting that day, but we'll get there when we get there. Figuring out when the heck my traveling is actually happening. So you have been reminded. I am so grateful that you spent the last hour for me. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys.